Sunny today after that morning overcast and partial clearing at the beaches. Highs from the 60s at the coast, 70s and 80s around the bay to the mid-90s. Inland was a pretty wild day yesterday. Traffic and weather together on the 8th on All News 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS. Synanon was the world's first drug rehab. People called it the miracle on the beach. But soon, people were calling it something else. They were saying it was a violent cult. Listen to the Sunshine Place, a creation and presentation C13 original, a Cadence 13 Studios, executive produced with Susan Downey and Robert Downey Jr. Available for free on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. Women's heart is in a race to save lives. Heart disease is the #1 killer of women. It's 80% preventable if you know the facts. Millions of women are living with or at risk of different types of heart disease, like AFib, which is a type of irregular heartbeat. It affects both women and men, but women with AFib have a risk of stroke and death than men. Get educated. See your doctor. Know the facts. Diet and exercise are key to staying healthy. Know the risks. Women's Heart does something really unique, solely focusing on women and providing peer-to-peer support. To win this race, we all have to do it together. Our hearts beat as one. To learn more, visit womenheart.org. KCBS News Time, 12:11. Contra Costa County residents who are at high risk for monkeypox can now schedule a vaccination appointment online through the county's public health department. Eligible county residents have previously had to submit a request form for a vaccination appointment, which then placed them on a waiting list. Contra Costa Health Services said on Wednesday that an increase in monkeypox vaccine supply enabled the county to open online appointment booking without the waiting list. Monkeypox vaccinations in Contra Costa County are currently available at county-run sites in Richmond and Concord. The county will open up some pop-up clinics in the coming weeks. And the vast majority of monkeypox cases in this current outbreak have been spread through sexual contact, but it can be transmitted other ways. And as we hear from KCBS reporter Melissa Colross, a man who recently was treated at Stanford for the disease can serve as a reminder of that.
The man developed monkeypox after taking a trip to the UK and attending a large festival that involved close dancing in crowds.
There was no sexual exposure. It was described as sort of an outdoor, social event where there was close skin-to-skin contact, but there was nobody that was noted to be sick or have visible lesions.
Stanford infectious disease physician Dr. Abrar Karan says even though in this outbreak monkeypox is spreading mostly through sexual contact among gay and bisexual men, it's not specifically an STD, and researchers have known for a long time that anyone, including children, can get it from skin contact, surfaces, or even respiratory droplets. So everyone should be aware of the risk.
We need to monitor and make sure that we liberalize testing. We make sure people can get tested more easily, and there have been cases in kids already documented, and most of those from household transmission where someone else was sick.
Dr. Karan does not think this one case should prompt any major sweeping changes to the public health response to the outbreak. Melissa Colross, KCBS.
If you have taken a rapid COVID test at home and it turned out to be negative, health officials would like you to do another test after a couple of days. As KCBS's Kathy Novak reports, this is because of concerns that people could be getting false negative results.
At-home COVID tests are commonplace now, and UCSF infectious diseases professor Dr. Diane Havler says a single negative result does not necessarily mean you're in the clear.
If a person just got infected and the levels of the virus are starting to go up, the rapid test may not yet be positive. Always recommend to people, if you have symptoms, you suspect that you have COVID and your Binax is negative, we always recommend a repeat test.
The FDA recommends a repeat test even if you don't have symptoms, if you believe you have been exposed to COVID. But Dr. Havler says rapid tests are still a great tool. They've been using Binax kits at the testing site in San Francisco's Mission District and found that the overall performance of those tests has been unwavering since the beginning of the pandemic.
They work with the current variants we have. They should be utilized by people for diagnosis to assess the risk to transmit. Anyone's welcome to come to our free walk-up site.
Kathy Novak, KCBS.
California's water power supply is being threatened by the drought. There's just not enough water flowing through the major rivers to generate electricity. The two largest hydroelectric reservoirs in the U.S. are Lake Mead near Las Vegas and Lake Powell along the Utah-Arizona border. They serve millions of people in 6 western states and in Mexico. The United Nations Environment Program is warning if drought conditions persist, both reservoirs could reach dead status. That's where water levels fall too low to flow downstream to generate power. Coming up on KCBS, I'm Kathy Whitman with how one segment of the economy had to deal with the supply chain shortage of paper.
Changed to completely different mailing format.
CBS News Time 12:15. It's time to head over to the sports desk. We're going to start with the good news. The A's beat the Texas Rangers last night 7-2, and that was their second win over the Rangers after a bout of many losses. The A's and the Rangers will face off again later today, just after 11 a.m. In the not-so-good news, the Giants' 5-game winning streak was busted. They lost to the D-backs 3-2, and the two teams will meet again today at 12:45. For more sports, here's Victor Sonoma.
The NBA releases the 2022-23 schedule, and Golden State Warrior fans, are you ready? It all tips off against the Los Angeles Lakers on October 18th at Chase Center. Now, there's a couple of highlights that I really like on the schedule. On Monday, November 7th, all 30 teams will play the day before Election Day and encourage fans to make a plan to vote. No games have been scheduled for Election Day, Tuesday, November 8th. Also, NBA Rival Week. Teams and players will highlight NBA Rival Week during the week of January 23rd. It will feature 11 nationally televised games across 4 networks over 5 days, from Tuesday, January 24th through Saturday, January 28th. Some of the matchups: Boston, Miami, Clippers, Lakers, the Brooklyn Nets against the Philadelphia 76ers, and you know the Golden State Warriors in that mix against the Memphis Grizzlies. Oh, it's going to be a good one. From the sports desk, Victor Sonoma, KCBS.
There's match. People will tell you there isn't.
They just want you to get back to work
Be quiet.
and not ask questions.
Those people need 1-800-GOT-JUMP
When you see the magic,
and smell the magic.
you can no longer deny the magic.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
And now we talk word from Charlotte to Junk Theory. A friend is a person who always brings a little magic with them. Be a friend. Call 1-800-GOT-JUMP.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUMP.com. For Labor Day savings, Envision Toyota of Milpitas is the right decision. Now during their Labor Day sales event going on now, you can get as low as 1.9% APR financing on select new Toyotas, including Corollas and Camrys, RAV4s and Tacomas, or get 3.99% APR financing on pre-owned certified Toyotas. Plus, we make it easy to save even more with no money down on approved credit when you buy any new Toyota. Shop online anytime at EnvisionToyotaofMilpitas.com or with the 880 freeway in the Great Mall Parkway. Call 855-973-2594 for details. Labor Day savings are going on right now, and the right decision is Envision Honda of Milpitas. With over 300 new cars arriving soon, reserve yours today. Now get 1.9% financing on a new 2022 Honda Passport or Pilot, or get a 2.9% financing on select new 2022 Honda models, including our most popular vehicles, Civic, Accord, CR-V, including hybrids. For the best Labor Day deals, it's Envision Honda of Milpitas. Call 855-996-2274 for details. CBS News Time 12:18. We will take a look at your 6-day forecast coming up after we check the roadways with Carolyn Burns.
And we have a couple of crashes to let you know about now. There's a new crash in San Jose on southbound 101 just before that highway at 87 interchange. A car spun out. It's now blocking that right lane. CHP has arrived, so hopefully we'll get a few more details. It looks like traffic is getting by the scene with no problems. And also in the San Pablo area, westbound 80 at El Portal Drive. CHP is on the way to check out reports of a vehicle that may have crashed into a wall off on the side of the road and ended up partially on a sidewalk that's nearby. Like I said, we don't have any confirmations. If anybody happens to be driving by, you can give us a call. Our number is 415-391-KCBS. And they are clear this 3-car crash, or actually just a solo car crash in Lathrop on southbound 5 just after Casson Road. Car spun out there, ended up in that right-hand shoulder.
tonight. Cloudy this morning with a patchy coastal bay fog, breezy with lows in the 50s and 60s. Turning sunny today, afternoon morning overcast with partial clearing all the way to the beaches. Highs from the 60s at the coast, 70s and 80s around the bay to the mid-90s inland. And then clearing skies tomorrow, turning mostly sunny through Saturday with night and morning fog developing at the coast. Highs from the 60s to the mid-90s. And then slightly cooler Sunday through Tuesday with inland highs in the upper 80s and the low 90s. Right now, Livermore's clear and 71, 67 San Jose Airport, 58 in Santa Rosa and clear in Concord, 75, 56 here in San Francisco along the Embarcadero. Traffic and weather together on the 8th on All News 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS. KCBS this time 12:20. Shortages of all types of products have been a problem ever since the pandemic began in 2020. KCBS's Kathy Whitman reports on how a lack of enough paper goods affects one segment of society.
Nonprofit groups need paper, labels, and envelopes to alert donors of their fundraising needs. And the shortage of those supplies has forced many to rethink the way they communicate. Holly Papsador is Senior Vice President of Business Strategy for PMG, a company that helps philanthropic organizations get their messages out.
A constellation of factors are affecting our ability to produce direct marketing fundraising campaigns in a timely manner.
Some of those things include paper shortages, transportation issues, and staffing problems at production facilities.
All can be attributed to various things like the pandemic, government
And an unanticipated strike at a Lego factory in Finland earlier this year.
So that caused a massive backlog in switching gears for nonprofits that have existing mailing campaigns.
Papsador also says that many environmental groups want to make sure they're using recycled paper, and that's also been in short supply.
They've had to adapt and use paper stocks that don't have that content.
Kathy Whitman, KCBS. Airbnb is now using anti-party technology. It's intended to stop house parties in their rentals before they happen. KCBS has more.
Until now, Airbnb has been penalizing party organizers after the fact. Last year, they suspended over 6,000 users for violating their no-party policy. Now they're rolling out an algorithm that will flag potential parties before they get booked. Ben Bright is with Airbnb.
It works on the front end to prevent those reservations from going through, so it stops them from even happening.
The algorithm spots signs of a house party in the making. When it detects enough of them, the user is blocked from booking the home. Users flagged by mistake have the chance to appeal the technology's decision. They'll most usually move on to another listing, which Bright says is just fine for most hosts, because preventing a destructive party is worth more than the occasional lost revenue.
Whatever we can do on the front end to the best of our abilities, prevent those types of reservations from happening in the first place, has been really well received by our hosts.
David Welch, JCBS.
Students who used federal loans to attend ITT Technical Institute as far back as 2006 will automatically get that debt canceled. This comes after authorities found widespread and pervasive misrepresentations at the now defunct for-profit college chain. The Biden administration says the action will cancel $3.9 billion in federal student debt for 208,000 borrowers. It adds to the administration's list of piecemeal student debt cancellations, but it provided no answers on broader student debt cancellation. The federal invasion of privacy civil lawsuit trial filed by Vanessa Bryant against LA County focused yesterday morning on alleged attempts to cover up offensive pictures of human remains. We get a story from Craig Signer in Los Angeles.
When Sheriff Alex Villanueva learned the deputies had pictures of the Kobe Bryant crash site and that some had been sharing gruesome images, he wanted to get to the bottom of it. That is what Sheriff's Chief George Valdez testified to jurors. He said it was okay, in his opinion, to ask deputies to fess up if they had pics, and then to, if they did, quickly delete the photos, because it was his opinion the investigation they were connected to wasn't criminal in nature. It was an administrative matter being handled by the NTSB. Because of media reports, the pictures became public knowledge. Chief Valdez was asked if Sheriff Villanueva had been planning to tell the families before the media, and he said he did not know. Plaintiff attorney said he'll be asking Sheriff Villanueva that very question when he takes a stand.
That's Craig Signer reporting in Los Angeles. Here's a look at your Money Minute.
This is
Bloomberg Money Minute. Wall Street is coming off a losing session for the first time in nearly a week. Interest rate worries are keeping investors on edge, even as minutes from last month's Fed meeting show officials saw the need to slow the pace of rate hikes at some point. The Nasdaq led the sell-off for the more than 1% decline. Barstool Sports has a new owner. Penn Entertainment, formerly Penn National Gaming, has agreed to buy the remaining shares of the sports and pop culture company that it doesn't already own. The relationship dates back to 2020, when Penn bought a 36% stake in Barstool that has launched sportsbooks under the Barstool name, helping it to reach a younger audience. Luxury fitness chain Equinox is slowly making its way back after the pandemic. It burned through less cash in its most recent quarter, $10 million less than the same quarter a year ago. And it says sales are stronger than ever. Larry Kopsky, Bloomberg Radio.
It's one thing to feel stressed or unhappy at work once in a while. How can you tell something deeper if it's time to consider changing careers? Muse.com writes and helps to look at why you feel the urge to change. Here's 3 reasons to seriously consider a new career. First, the job outlook in your field has worsened. It happens a lot these days. Prospects in your field once seemed strong, but changes in technology have limited your career opportunities. One travel agent was forced to change careers. She's now happily using her organizational skills at her new job, which is running an urgent care facility. Or 2, you fell into your current position. If your job's the result of a series of random twists and turns, rather than something you consciously pursued, it might be worth looking if there's something better out there. Or 3, you developed a core interest in a field that did not even exist when your career began. Many older people are tech savvy, and they're finding happiness and new careers in tech. You should check out careeronestop.org for more information. With your next job, I'm Stephen Greenberg.
Standing up for what's right. Helping out when things go wrong. Raising our voices alone or together. Speaking the truth and speaking our mind. Not just making records, but breaking them. Fighting for victory on the battlefield and on the playing field. Seeing the world through new eyes and the earth from miles above. Redefining beauty, brains, and what it really means to be queen. Making ourselves heard on stage and on screen. Showing the way to the countdown. And showing up for others regardless of the meeting. Not just making our mark, but making a difference. Now that's a job for Girl Scouts. Girl Scouts, preparing girls for a lifetime of leadership. Traffic and weather together on KCBS 12:28. Time to connect with Carolyn. How's it looking now?
Well, we have this crash in San Jose, southbound 101. Now, it's being reported before that Highway 87 interchange, but actually, it does look like it might be closer to De La Cruz Boulevard. A car spun out and is blocking that right-hand lane. So as a result, right now, traffic is backed up to just before Lafayette Street. And in San Pablo, on westbound 80 at El Portal, you'll see some activity there because apparently a car might have come off the freeway, crashed into a wall, is now sitting on top of the sidewalk, partially blocking the street that's right next to the highway there. CHP is also on scene, and we have new reports of a crash in the East Bay, eastbound Dakota Road, the on-ramp to southbound 880. We're not exactly sure the details. First reports, but CHP is just now arriving on scene. Your next traffic update is at 12:38 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
Well, Carl, the fog is back this morning. Coastal and bay fog, breezy with lows in the 50s and 60s. It'll be sunny today after the morning overcast burns off. Partial clearing at the beaches.